Welcome to the Pet Biz Project, the podcast for passionate pet business owners and entrepreneurs. In this episode, I sat down to chat with Dr. Will Maginness, founder of 5 Hounds by Dr. Will, a recently launched holistic pet food brand making waves in the industry. Join us as Will shares his inspiring journey, from growing up with his beloved Labrador Harry, to training in veterinary medicine, to being led to his true calling. This episode will provide any pet business owner or industry professional with invaluable insights into aspects such as navigating rebranding challenges, building strong customer relationships, and integrating sustainability and holistic care into your offerings to create a loyal community around your brand. Tune in as we explore Will's passion for pet nutrition and the creation of 5 Hounds, where offering personalised, ethically sourced, lightly cooked meal plans for pets is changing the face of pet care as we know it. Well, welcome to the Pet Biz Project, Will. It's great to have you on board and here to talk to our guests. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Tarryn. I'm very excited for this podcast.
Yeah, it's good. We've been planning it for a while, but we've finally got around to organising it. So, okay, I'm going to start by, first of all, getting you to share with our listeners your story, because you've been on quite a journey to get to the point where you're at right now with 5 Hounds. And you obviously are an animal lover with having, all your dogs, the farm, being a vet. But where does that come from? Can you share with us sort of like what's the moment in your life that really gave you that love and connection with animals? And then how's that brought you to the point now where that you've got 5 Hounds as your business?
Yeah, absolutely. I was probably the outlier of my family with just growing up always wanting animals, and that's from rabbits, guinea pigs to birds to guinea fowl, for everything and anything that I could get my hands on. And then probably the pinpoint moment was my grandfather at the age of 10 or 11 goes to my parents, "This boy needs a dog. It's actually cruel for the path that he wants to take, that he doesn't have a pet dog." So my parents were forced to buy me a golden Labrador Harry, and he was probably the pivotal part of where I go back and go, yep, that's where it all started. Is he came with me everywhere. He was, there for the ups and downs of senior school, through my football journey as well. And from there, it just flourished. I obviously ended up getting 5 of my own dogs, growing a farm with every animal you could think of, which is just taken over and life consumed my life. But through my football journey, my passion for animals, and I guess how I treat myself and look after myself, I have a very holistic way of thinking about things, and combining all those passions together is where 5 Hounds was, I guess, created. I had that belief that we're probably not doing the best by dogs and feeding dogs a little bit incorrectly in the way that I believe and look after myself, and that wasn't being translated down the lead. So that's where 5 Hounds was born, but it's been a long journey to get to this point.
Yeah, fantastic. And so footballer, that's not what you'd expect on the journey with animals, but then you went to become a vet after that. And then what happened after becoming a vet?
So football, naturally I was obsessed with it. I love the team aspect of football, and it took me to Western Australia. It was a great part of my life. But for various circumstances, I got injured and it didn't work out. And I think deep down, I always knew my life was going to revolve around animals, and that path was always going to be taken. Football was a short career that kind of got in the way. Something that I was very keen at the time to pursue. Became a vet in WA, met my partner Sienna, also a vet. And since then, I got into the general practitioner route, seeing animals all day, every day, having consults with small animals and large animals. And I just felt, I was the outlier again, going, hey, let's spend a bit more time in a consulting room talking about nutrition. What are you doing at home? Looking at the holistic picture of a dog's health. And people, for a routine vaccine, they just want their vaccine and they just want to walk off. And I'm, no, let's do this, let's do that. Let's think about things slightly different.
Yeah.
And then one day I said, actually, maybe I can have more of an influence on more pet parents around not just in my little circle and not just 10 to 12 to 15 dogs a day. Maybe I'll be able to expand that, I guess, that awareness and that education and build a little bit of a community. And that kind of what took me in my first step to go online, and which has been, an incredible step for me. And it's been really well received by plenty of people. And it's honestly turned into one of my greatest passions and where I think I can have the greatest influence.
Yeah, it's funny where life sends us on our journey, doesn't it? And what happens to correct us and get us on the path we're meant to be on. So what was it that helped you to identify that there was a gap in the market that you needed to fill, or felt you needed to fill with 5 Hounds?
I've always been passionate about feeding real food for dogs and getting away from the processed manner that kibble gives dogs. Why I went down probably the lightly cooked route, and no need to offend raw feeders out there, I truly believe lightly cooked fresh food is better for majority of dogs. And that, not getting into the whole science debate, because I advocate for both raw and lightly cooked, but I just think it's easier on the digestive system. From a veterinary perspective, it gives that safety element. And doing my research and looking into lightly cooked and raw, and Australia probably always being 5-10 years behind the US, a lot of the dollars were actually spent. And I think I read a study saying 77% of the dollars spent were on lightly cooked fresh food options in the US, where 23% was on raw food. So like we're the big movers and the big shakers in the area, and I thought majority of dogs are still fed kibble. There's room for all of us, and that's where, I guess, why I choose lightly cooked dog food.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got to remember as well that dogs are unique, aren't they? Just like us as people. Like, it doesn't suit all of us to be vegetarian or vegan or whatever, it's just we've all got different makeup and what works for us and what doesn't. So it's great that there is that variety out there these days for pet parents and for dogs, that, you can find a solution that works for your dog. It's not one size fits all for everybody.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that's why at 5 Hounds, we're trying to personalize the experience as well, and cater to all the variables of your dog, whether it's the age, the breed, the activity level, whether the dog's desexed, do they live in an apartment, do they live on the farm, all those type of things. It's not as simple as just reading the feeding guidelines on the back of a packet. We're trying to take that to a personalised, individualised approach for each dog.
And, I think, having pets myself and having dogs myself, it's also being able to try different things, having that variety out there in the market, that you can try different things and see what works, not just go, this is the thing that I must use and use it for the life of the dog. You're able to go and try different options and see what your dog responds best to, how, they seem to improve their behavior, their anxiety levels, all of, diet can make such a difference with all of those things.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I try and preach online as much as possible, is variety is actually the key to everything. And a dog eating the same thing day after day is just, I can't stand for whatsoever. And I understand 5 Hounds is a premium brand that, uses premium ingredients that comes at a premium price, and that's just the fact of the matter. But if kibble's your only option, that's what I'm so passionate about, is actually, no, we can improve the kibble bowl. We can add meal toppers at a very cost-effective way. And that's where I think I can have a great influence as well on many more dogs.
Yeah, definitely. We've been with you on the journey of developing 5 Hounds and the path that you've taken, but can you share with our audience, I suppose, some of the challenges that you've experienced with launching 5 Hounds that you didn't expect when you started out?
Yeah, I think my mind goes straight to 5 Hounds not being called 5 Hounds initially. It was, it was born as Dr. Monty. And going back, 1st of Feb 2024 is the day that I said, this is me, this is all I'm going to do, and I'm going to put everything into it. And I sat there by myself, and I remember vividly on the dining room table going, it's Dr. Monty. And it just came so easy to me, the name, the brand, and, it just felt right. And then to go down that path of setting up the color scheme, the brand guidelines, the packaging, and then hit a trademark issue was completely devastating and debilitating to me, because I was so attached and it just felt aligned to Dr. Monty. To give a bit of context, Monty's my eldest golden retriever, 10 years old. I got him in Perth when I first got injured at the West Coast Eagles. So he's also been through the ups and downs and seen me at my worst and in the darkest moments. And it just felt right to call the brand after my eldest boy. So then for that to be taken away, it took plenty of time. And now I'm obsessed with Five Hounds and the name, and it feels right. But it took months, many, many months. And the name didn't come as easily as it did with Dr. Monty. So that's the challenge and the hurdle that sticks out the most. But I think, as you know, Tarryn, in any business, every day there's a new hurdle.
Yeah. And the to-do list just keeps growing and the challenges keep getting bigger and, it's definitely like as you know, I speak to business owners every day and I think we all feel the same way. There is so many challenges that we have days where we feel like, oh, I'm over this. I give up. But then you wake up the next day and you're like, right, let's tackle this. Let's get to it. It keeps pushing you out of your comfort zone. So it's something that forces you to evolve and grow all the time, which is very rewarding at the same time. So yeah, it's not easy, that's for sure. I think it goes to show, like you were saying with Dr. Monty, it's like you can have such an emotional connection with aspects of your business that you're developing, and it can be so difficult to let go of that emotional connection. But then when you do let it go and step into what you need to do next, it really, sometimes then that starts to feel the right thing. So, no, you've done amazing with developing, a brand that feels really right and true to you with the dogs as well, which is great. So you're not just lightly cooking the food, are you? You're sous vide cooking the food. What's the reason for that? Can you tell us what inspired you to go down that path?
Many reasons, and this is what was throwing me at the. I'm in the deep end big time with the manufacturing aspect. I always say that I'm a veterinarian first and foremost, not a manufacturer. And yes, I was home cooking my meals, but I was doing it on a stove. And through many, many months of research and development of the product, and looking overseas, I did a trip to the US and visited a couple of manufacturers over there. And I believe, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think we are the only pet food business that truly sous vides a product in Australia. And there's a couple of big businesses that I follow in the UK and the US that have had great success in doing so. And why we do that and why I've chosen to go down that path is, one, from a quality point of view, is precision with temperature control and internal temperatures, which then creates that safety net that I talk about.
Yeah.
But I think our trump card and what I feel so strongly about is, and what's happening in the pet food world at the moment is we're creating fussy dogs, and we've got this fussy dog epidemic. And why that's occurring is there's so much science and research gone into taste, flavor enhancers, excess salt, all these things to entice dogs to eat food and kibble specifically and poor quality food. So when they come to a highly nutritious meal, sometimes they turn their nose up to it. But what sous videing the product does is it retains the nutrients, the juices, and most importantly, the offal that we use, and naturally the blood, and that creates an aroma, and that's in that package. That when fussy dogs come, generally, and touch wood, it's going well so far. We're getting plenty of fussy dogs on, and that's why I'm so confident to give a money-back guarantee to fussy dogs and say, hey, you can work with me personally because I'm so passionate about getting dogs onto real food, because that should be the goal of everyone. That's why you chose to sign up for Five Hounds initially. So yeah, I think it's our trump card, and I'm very passionate about the product and hearing from customers and receiving feedback and altering anything. But yeah, I think our product's pretty spot on at the moment.
And it's great that you provide so much support to your community, your customers, the people that are on Five Hounds, because you have your consulting aspect, but you just give so much in terms of that customer support and making sure that everybody's got their questions answered, that they're being looked after, that they're being guided in what to do and when to do it, which is something that you don't see a lot of with many pet brands out there. It's like, buy my product. It's just a very consumer based approach, but you're building relationships with your customers and their dogs, so which is great.
I want to continue doing that. I'm very passionate about that aspect. there is only so much time in the day, of course.
Yeah. You might have to clone yourself a few times or something.
Yeah, but no, I think the more help that I get around me, that's going to be a pivotal part of my days, is really relating and resonating with the customers and communicating with them. So as the business grows, that's going to be, a key difference and a point of difference to the business that I want to just, really ingrain myself in.
And it's not just the customer side of things and the dogs that you're very passionate about building those relationships with. You also build a lot of relationships with the farmers and ensuring that you've got sustainable and ethical ingredients going into the products as well. So you've focused on the animals going into the meals just as much as the animals receiving the meals, aren't you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that comes from, how the meat and the products that I eat myself, and the way that I want to obviously get the highest quality nutrients into myself. But that comes from looking after the animals at the greatest possible way we can. And I'm not, if I'm honestly speaking, I'm not happy with the way that animals are factory farmed, the way that they're not allowed to express their natural instincts. And for me to then sit back and know that, I eat meat 3, 4, 5 times a week, but my dogs, and I've got 5 dogs, they're eating meat every day of their life. That needs to translate to them as well. And I'm a farmer myself. I love getting on farm. I love speaking to people and learning from people. And that's just something that naturally comes really well to me and I actually get a kick out of. As I said from the start, it's about combining everything that my morals, my ethics into a business that I'm so passionate about.
How have you found it with building those relationships with the farmers that, are trying to have sustainable and ethical practices, but it's so tough with the expenses these days and, the whole system just is working against them. Have you found them really, wanting to partner and work with you? Are they very open and, willing to connect?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I hear you completely that it feels like, the government and the price point of everything is against us with regulations, and it makes it more difficult. But as long as we all stand true to ourselves, and I think everyone's out there to do the right thing that we're partnering with. Yes, we do pay a little bit more of a premium price for some of these products, but I'm totally okay with that and happy to do that because I believe that's the right thing. But trust me, there's a great community that we're building, and it's becoming a bigger and bigger trend. I think as time goes on, more people are more conscious about these type of things. So everyone I meet opens new doors, and as we expand, obviously, and we scale, we're going to need to partner with more farmers to purchase more meat, and I'm excited about that venture that we're going to go down to.
Fantastic. How do you find communicating that sustainability efforts to your customers? Do you find that they just get it straight away, or do you have to do an element of education?
I think a little bit of both. Like naturally, I guess you attract people, like-minded people. So, preaching to the preach and everyone's on the same page. But I think I have some very strong conversations with some farmers and some very conventional farmers that maybe just have done what their fathers have done and what their grandfathers have done, and it's just passed down. And one of the biggest things from my veterinary perspective, away from 5 Hounds, away from the dog nutrition space, is I'm very passionate about pain and pain relief and pain livestock. And that's kind of what on the side I push, and everyone I come across, I've got pain relief and anti-inflammatories that I push towards these farmers and say, any painful procedure that you think would hurt you and that you do to your lambs or to your calves or those type of things as they grow, and just very mundane things, come on, let's start using some pain relief. And that's something that I notice a lot of farmers are like, oh, of course, that makes sense. That would hurt. Why aren't we using pain relief when it's 5 cents here, 10 cents here, and it's very... So I guess that's probably the difficulty to kind of get into those farmers' minds, and it's just, getting the awareness out there and spreading it.
And with the brand, you offer personalised meal plans. Sort of, how have you found that going with customers? Do you find that they're really leaning into it and enjoying having that personalised meal plan experience?
Yeah, absolutely. And as you know, Tarryn, the whole tech side of creating this personalised meal experience is a headache, and it still continues to be. And but I think, as I said, it's so important to every dog, because every dog is totally different and everyone's situation is totally different. So that's what I want to create and stand for as a business. But I think people are well receiving it. And, yes, we've built this software, and this software kind of spits out an answer depending on all these variables. But then I still give myself and my time to, hey, this isn't working, we need to back off this, and I can adjust anything, because you've still, that I think what 5 Hounds customers will attest to is I'm there for people, and I'm always, a lot of them have my phone number.
Oh no, that's dangerous, pal.
Yeah. Sienna always tells me, call them on a private number. I said, no, it's okay. I like that personalised approach, and I've formed some fantastic relationships with many people, and met plenty of dogs. And another part of that is obviously going on a bit of a tangent, but I've done a few personalised deliveries myself, and that's one of what I want to give more time in my day to be able to do body condition scores, physical examinations, listen to the heart, check the dental disease, and just formulate more of a personalised approach from actually meeting the customers and meeting the dogs.
Yeah, we love watching the videos too. If you're going to visit everybody, it's a laugh.
I feel like I'm having more fun than a lot of the people that I'm visiting.
No, it's great. I think I haven't seen many business owners do it, but it is such a great way. Like, I have to say, when you start approaching business as a way to connect with people and animals, and to create friendships, and rather than it just being business and about money and all that kind of thing, it makes it so much more fun. And I think you've really harnessed that sort of ability to go out there and just connect with your customers, and like delivering the food to Hamish and things like that. It's just, when he won the competition, it was great to be able to watch that. So if people listening to this haven't been onto your social media, there's some great videos there of Will getting out and meeting customers. So it's fantastic. So that brings me on to my next question, I suppose. Like, you, I have to say, are amazing with social media. You just get out there, you connect with your audience, you just sit and have a chat about the topics that need to be talked about. Have you found that that's the best way to connect with people, or are there other ways that you've, with potential customers, or have you got other ways that you like to use as well?
I think absolutely. It I speak real, and I speak intimate, and I speak about things that I truly believe are the best things for people's dogs and my beliefs. And I think that resonates with people, because I understand, I'm a dog lover. I've got 5 dogs. I want my 5 dogs to live forever, and I want the best for my 5 dogs. And I think as time goes on, and me relating to people and seeing people through 5 Hounds, through my veterinary work, and me myself, is we're taking dog ownership. I don't say dog ownership, but to the next level. They're well entrenched in the family. They're sleeping on the bed. I change my voice when I talk to my dog. I don't go out at nights because I want to stay at home with my dog. Like, that is just becoming more and more the norm. So I relate to people, and I know that they want the best for their dog. And I'm one of those people. So I'm out there researching and just doing everything possible to improve my dog's lives. And I feel like it's my duty to share that and speak to people.
Yeah. And just, I know everybody will be wanting to know this, but what animals do you actually have at home aside from the dogs on the farm? Tell us.
It's
you got a menagerie, haven't you?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, Tarryn. Last night I literally nearly threw the towel in. I was scratching my head going, what are we doing running around like headless chooks? We were fixing the pig fence. We obviously raise animals the way that I want to raise them, and we've got pasture-raised pigs, and pigs can push through any fence, and we keep them in one single strand of electric fence they'd pushed over, and the pigs are running everywhere. Sienna and I all over the farm, just going, what on earth is happening? Anyway, we've got pigs, beef, alpacas, goats, chickens, cows, cats and dogs.
Wow.
I think that's it. Oh, and a horse.
Yeah. Because I love your videos when you're recording your reels for Instagram and you're just seeing the random animals run across, or getting up to mischief behind you. It must be just so entertaining. You must never need to have the TV on in your place.
I know, exactly. And we've just moved to a new farm actually, and we've decided not to bring a TV with us because we're outside all the time and keeping us busy.
And running a business, you're so busy as well, aren't you? It's like there's no time for that.
Well, we just naturally collect animals, and to be honest, a lot of the animals that we've got are rescues and ones from clients or from sanctuaries that we've kind of accumulated and rescued and put on IV drips in the kitchen and brought back to life. And they're just incredible stories that I hold very close to me. And, we've got cows and goats and sheep out there that I can give a big head, a big cuddle and hang on the back of. That's pretty beautiful. And then we raise, chickens and sheep and pigs for our own consumption, but in the right way. And that's what I'm very proud of.
And you use your eggs from your own farm in the dogs' meals, don't you? 5 Hounds meals, which is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, we used to sell, have a little farm stall out the front of our property. And that was a great little community and built some amazing relationships with people, and they would come every day for their carton of eggs. And then the day 5 Hounds launch, I stopped that farm stall. I said, "No, sorry, all into the dog food." People weren't too happy with that. "What do you mean you're feeding our eggs to the dogs?" I said, "Don't you worry."
Oh no, you'll be getting some grumpy neighbours. So we talked about earlier that there's been challenges along the way with running your business and developing it. So a lot of people that listen to this podcast are small to medium business owners that are trying to grow, they're trying to scale up. Just from your perspective so far on the journey, is there anything that you would have done differently if you had your time again?
It's a great question. Probably not, to be honest. I think everything to get me to where I am, where I'm a long way, where I would like to be, there's just learnings, and I just learn from everything and understand. I lean on a lot of people and I get a lot of help, and I think that's probably been very, very important to keep me sane and keep me alive and keep me youthful. I just turned 30, so I'm still youthful, but
haven't got as many grey hairs as me yet.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't think I would change anything. It's just all part of my journey and my path, and the learnings are definitely paving the way for me to make wiser, smarter decisions in the future, for sure. Yeah.
No, that's a good attitude to have. I think we all take lessons from everything, whether it's good or bad. So it's all part of the growing, as you said. So what's the future for 5 Hounds? Obviously, you're still quite young in terms of business years, but where do you see things evolving long term with the brand? Like, what's the vision for where you want to get it to?
I've got big visions. I think early days, we're just going to continue expanding our range, add a couple of meals, go into maybe some functional treats, some supplements, those type of things. But the ultimate goal, and this comes back to what I'm preaching online and spreading awareness and education, is create kind of a 5 Hounds holistic hub. And that's, a rounded vision towards the dog as a whole. And my belief is nutrition is the foundation of life, okay? That's what it all based off. But there's other elements to a dog's health that can improve their longevity, and whether it's socialization, getting dogs outside more, just not blindly prophylactically treating against for vaccines and worming control, all those type of things. I think creating a wellness hub where we've got online resources, you have access to plenty of vets, including myself. We run seminars. If you're a 5 Hounds customer, that's probably the ultimate goal, and where, once 5 Hounds is the foundations are set up, that I'll put a lot more time and effort into.
Fantastic. Oh, there's so many opportunities out there, and it's going to be great to see the path that you go on with the business. And I'm sure in a few years' time, that vision will be even bigger. I find the vision just grows as you go along. So that's fantastic. So here at the Pet Biz Project, we're all about building meaningful relationships with pet parents. That's what we're all here to do with our pet brands. So can you tell me what that means to you, building meaningful relationships with pet parents?
I think I touched on it before. It's just the understanding that pets are now well and truly part of the family. And once you understand that, and you understand how people feel about their own pet, because I know how I feel about my own pets, I think you understand, the power they have over us. And meaningful relationships, to me, that's just, understanding that and then getting out there and doing the best for them. So yeah, I think, we're all pet parents, and we all understand the power they have over us, and how, we would do anything for our pets. And I think that's pretty incredible thing to even ponder.
Yes, and I think that relationship, as you say, is going to only grow over time between animals and humans. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how and where things evolve with pet brands and the pet industry as well. So what do you find is a really good way for connecting with pet parents? So I see you as like social media is great for you because you are amazing at just getting out there and recording a video. You would be surprised, how many business owners struggle to pick up a camera and just talk to people via social media. Is there any other way that you've sort of found that helps you with reaching people?
Yeah, obviously social media I love, and I haven't had enough time recently to get on there, and with moving house and the Christmas New Year period. But that's definitely one way that I can show my life and show that I'm real, I'm authentic. I'm just like anyone else that obsessed with animals and trying to do the best by them. The other way that I love relating people is meeting people on the ground and face to face and meeting their dogs and giving firsthand, I guess, education to those people. And through the delivery service that I've kind of opened up and doing a few delivery days, which I'll continue to do. I love doing that aspect. But yeah, I'm looking for other ways as well. And that's what I'll be leaning on Pet Biz to help me with, just to target other avenues to, increase our reach.
Yeah, because you did Dog Lovers Festival this year as well, did you? Did you find that a good way just to get in front of people and to chat with the launch of the brand?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Dog Lovers was fantastic. Yeah, it was great to meet people, speak about the product, ask questions to them, get some feedback on what other things they're seeing in the pet food industry and trends they're seeing and what they're looking for. But yeah, the more people I can get in front of and ask questions to them and get feedback, I take all those opportunities, and that's what I'm obsessed with. And that's what takes me back to what I'm so obsessed with the product itself and why I want to fine tune it to be that, that I can go to the reason I've created the product and why I truly believe it's the best on the market is I want to feed the best food to my dogs so I can sleep at night knowing that my 5 dogs are getting the best food. And I'm continuing fine tuning that from feedback from everyone, because throughout the product testing, yes, we targeted plenty of dogs, but then when you actually go commercial and you get hundreds of dogs trialing your food, then you get more feedback and more comments, and the more people I speak to and get in front of, I think is very important from a business point of view and a product point of view.
And you're really passionate about getting out there and educating to groups as well, aren't you? Which is why this year for us is really a focus on getting out there as a speaker to talk and educate to large audiences as well as in the media and things like that. So I think it's always the power that you have in terms of education and being able to create a movement or create change that you want to see in the world is so much more accessible for you because you are willing to get out there and just show up and stand up and be seen and be heard about what you believe in. And I suppose that's one of the messages that I'd like to get across to other pet business owners is that you can't hide behind your business anymore. Your business isn't going to be successful if you hide behind the brand, hide behind the product, and don't show up and be seen and be heard, because pet parents want to connect with the person behind the business. They don't want just some faceless product. So I think, that's one thing that I'm excited about be on the journey with you, is that I think there is just so much opportunity there for you to create that change you want to see in the world because you are willing to step up and do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it comes easy to me because I'm preaching things that I'm passionate about and I truly believe are the best things for dogs. And I want everyone to know this. And you don't know what you don't know, essentially. And you can't blame people for just, being in their own bubble. And the awareness just comes to that. And the more people that I can get in front of, I'm going to take every opportunity.
Yeah, people feed off your energy. So if you're inspired about something, they feel inspired too. So it's great. The more you can get out there, the better. So if anyone wants to reach out to you, Will, and get in touch, or, if they want to have you speak at an event or, just connect with you regarding 5 Hounds for their dog, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Social media, obviously, Dr. Will Maginness online. I get, hundreds of messages all week, every week. So, message me through that. I check them all. Absolutely. Email address, which I think, Tarryn, you can definitely add to the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put everything in the show notes. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. But yeah, no, Five Hounds, and then online I do nutrition consultations as well through the Five Hounds website, and that can be through Five Hounds itself, or if you're overseas as well, listening from afar. I'm very happy to help all dogs out there.
Fantastic. Oh, thank you so much for being on the show today, Will. It's been amazing having a chat. And yeah, we'll put everything in the show notes for people to get in contact with you. So thank you so much. It's been amazing working with you. And yeah, I'm glad that we've finally got you on the show for everybody to hear from you. So thanks, Will.
Thank you very much, Tarryn. Appreciate it.
That wraps up today's episode with Dr. Will from Five Hounds. I hope hearing about Will's journey has inspired you to think differently about holistic pet care and the power of building a community around your brand. If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the Pet Biz Project and leave a review. For more insights and updates, follow us on social media and stay tuned for the next episode where we deep dive into the stories shaping the pet industry. Until then, keep innovating and putting pets first.